Bases. Oh, there it is. Once a week. All right. So first off, sorry about 906. It was going to be one of those days, and I will tell you why. Because I started. Traditionally, 905 pops up on the window, and you're kind of sitting there, and you're going, okay, time to start the show, and so of course, what do I do in this is I hit what I'm supposed to hit at 9:05. So I hit that and let it play out. I start talking and I look in the upper right-hand corner of the control panel and it still says go live. So I hit no button that was worth a thing. And then I finally hit the go live button and was ready to get things rolling. And sure enough, I thought I did. But, of course, traditionally once a week, as you guys know, and trying to make sure all the banners are correct and everything's in a line and all this kind of stuff, that was up. So, yeah, so I think it's going to be one of those mornings. It's decision day, by the way. John here, you there. Thanks for hanging out with us. It is all the playoffs, either playing or being decided, and figuring out who's in, who's out, who's not going, who is going. If you've missed it earlier in the week, we'll catch you up on the matchups. Kaylor Hodges from the USL show was on yesterday. We went through all of the matchups in USL Championship. We'll go through all those in hour number 2, unless we go through them in hour number 1. Same in USL League 1. The 1 and the 2 get the bye. They get to stare at the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 6. Same in the NWSL. The 1 and the 2 get to stare at the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 6. We'll have our preview up later today. So NWSL playoff preview, you'll hear from Lynn Williams, you'll hear from Laura Harvey, you'll hear from Megan Rapinoe. That is later on today because the matchup at Lumen Field is late night tonight. So NWSL playoffs start tonight. USL Championship and USL League One playoffs start tomorrow. Decision day for Major League Soccer tomorrow. And Eastern Conference games all at 6 o'clock. Morning, Alex. Western Conference games all at 9 o'clock. So as we go this morning, I want to know what you're thinking. Doesn't necessarily have to be about the Atlanta United matchup. Could be about the East. Could be about the West. Whatever's on your mind this morning. Morning, David. So whatever's on your mind when it comes to Atlanta United, put it in the timeline in the Twitch pitch. We'll discuss. Could be about the other teams in Major League Soccer chasing after bids, and we'll discuss. Will Pelagic got called out of the bullpen, and he is going to be on WFNZ, going directly against us in competition. So Will be on early part of next week as a postmortem, either one way or the other, to discuss the season in Charlotte, playoffs, and all that kind of stuff. So that's the show this morning. It's decision day. It's news of the morning, gossip, rumor, and innuendo, where you can watch, what you can watch it, all that kind of stuff. So opening kickoff brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee. Let me get my hand up so I can cover the QR code. There's the other QR code. All right, so there it is. There's the QR code for our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. And don't forget to use the code Soccer Down Here 15. You get 15% off your purchase at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. They, in turn, take 10% reinvested into the youth game and youth initiatives. Very, very cool stuff from our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. All right. So you're hitting buttons again. Man, you're clearing stuff. You see it? Yeah, it's going to be one of those mornings. I definitely think it's going to be one of those mornings where I'm hitting the wrong buttons all damn day. So for opening kickoff, it'll be the referee crews and the announce teams and milestones, getting you ready for what's going to happen in Major League Soccer for the final day of the regular season as we get ready for the playoffs. So your assignments for week 38, Major League Soccer. We know who this is going to be. Morning, Abby. Charlotte and Inter Miami at Bank of America Stadium. Guido Gonzalez Jr. is the man in the middle. Marcus de Oliveira is your fourth. Greg Dopka is your VAR. Nick Uranga is your AVAR. Hold your ears. Joe Dickerson, the man in the middle for FC Cincinnati and Atlanta United. Izmir Pekmic is your fourth. Jorge Gonzalez is your VAR. Crew and CF Montreal, Drew Fisher is the man in the middle. Corey Richardson is one of your ARs. Eric Weisbrod is your 2. And it is Chris Penso, your VAR for Columbus Crew and CF Montreal. NYC Chicago Fire, Alan Chapman is the man in the middle. Alex Chilowitz is your 4th. Reserved without comment at Citi Field. Kevin Stott is your VAR. Nashville and Red Bull, 6 o'clock. Lucas Zapala is the man in the middle. Corey Parker, Kyle Atkins, your ARs. Malik Badawi is your 4th. Ted Uncle is your VAR for Red Bulls in Nashville. Prepare yourself appropriately. Revolution and Union. Tori Penso is in the middle for Revs and Union. Catherine Nesbitt is your AR, is one of your ARs along with Ryan Graves. Luis Diego Arroyo is your 4th. David Berry is your VAR. At BMO Field, north of the border, not stadium, out west. Toronto and Orlando City. Matthew Suarez is your center F. Chantal Boudreau is your AR, along with Oscar Mitchell Carvalho. Pierre-Luc Lozier is your 4th. Kevin Terry Jr. is your VAR. That's your Eastern Conference. 9 o'clock, Colorado and Real Salt Lake. Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Timothy Ford is in the middle for Rapids and RSL. Brooke Mayo is your AR. Adam Garner, AR2. Remy Touchon is your 4th. Daniel Radford is your VAR. Sporting and Minnesota United. Ismail Elfath is the man in the middle for this one. Ian McKay, Lisa Arfa, your ARs. Nima Sagafi is your 4th. Carol Ann Chenard is your VAR. Galaxy and FC Dallas, 9 o'clock. Victor Rivas is the man in the middle. Alejandro Mariscal is your VAR. Timbers and Dynamo from Providence Park. Rubiel Vasquez is the man in the middle. Armando Villarreal is the 4th. Jose Carlos Rivero is your VAR for Portland and Houston. San Jose and Austin. Rosendo Mendoza is the man in the middle. Sergi Boyko is your 4th. Soren Stoichka is your VAR. Tyler Wyrostek is your AVAR. All caps in Seattle Sounders. Jair Marufo is the man in the middle. Corey Rockwell is your AR1. Jeffrey Schwartzel is your AR2. John Freeman is your 4th. Edvin Jurasevich is your VAR. That's a stacked crew. In Vancouver and Los Angeles, Fotis Bazakis is the man in the middle. Chris Wadham, Kevin Locke, your ARs. Alain Ruck is your 4th. Yunus Marakchi is your VAR. Fabio Tovar is your AVAR. So that's your look at your crews for MLS in match week 38. Announced teams. And we get Kevin Egan, if I am not mistaken, for your matchup with Atlanta United. A couple of decision day notes here. Red Bulls, with a win on decision day, they could clinch an MLS record 14th consecutive playoff berth. They're tied with Seattle for 13 consecutive from 09 to 21. 2 of the original MLS clubs can stake their claims for the final Western Conference spots. FC Dallas Sporting look to reach 20 or more postseasons in league history. Red Bulls have 23. LAG's got 20. They ain't making it this year. So FCD and Sporting are at 19. Crew and the Revs are at 17. Cincinnati returned to TQL one final time during their record-setting regular season with another shot at history. Most single-season home points in history. Right now they're at 40. 6 teams have 41. Toronto and LAFC have 42 in their history. Red Bulls have the record of 43 set in 2018. By beating Seattle on Saturday night, all caps would pass LAFC with 57 points in 2018. They've got 56 right now, most points by an expansion club in their inaugural season in history. NYC and Sporting have a chance to complete 2 of the best single-season turnarounds on decision day. Only 3 teams in league history have had a 10-plus game single-season winless streak and made the postseason. Atlanta United was one of those in 2021, having a 12. Sporting had a 10. FC Dallas had a 10 back in 2011 and 2005. Sporting has a 10 this year. NYCFC has an 11 this year. We will get into the kickoffs here in just a little bit. You sit there and you think that you've got all of your tabs open and available. And strangely enough, they're not. I know. Abby, it is 6:09. Apple is sticking to their 09s, so it is 609 and 909. 609 and 909 for your kickoffs when it comes to your decision day elements on your Saturday. So also, as promised, I'm trying to get into the announced teams just so we know who's got what where. And so with those of you with your multiple devices squared away, match day 38 assignments. Shocking no one. Jake Zivin and TT, they are in Charlotte for Charlotte and Inter Miami because Messi's playing. Kevin and Kendra are doing Atlanta and FC Cincinnati. Tyler Terrence, Devin Kerr are doing Columbus and CF Montreal. Chris Whittingham, Lori Lindsay turning into one of the busiest folks in show business. They are doing NYC and Chicago Fire. Tony Husband, Ross Smith doing Nashville and Red Bulls. Kanji Man and Danny Higginbotham are doing Revs in Philadelphia. Callum and Greg Sutton are doing Toronto and Orlando. 9 o'clock. Eric Krakauer and Lloyd Sam, Colorado and RSL. Nate Bacady, Tony Miola. Bacady gets a home game, calling Sporting and Minnesota. Keith and Mo, Keith Costigan and Maurice Adu are in Los Angeles for LAG and FC Dallas. Mark Rogandino, Heath Pierce, they are doing Cascadia. They have Portland hosting Houston. Adrian Healy, Kobe Jones, American legend Kobe Jones, have San Jose and Austin. Max and Dunny, Max Bretos, Brian Dunseth are in St. Louis for All Caps and Seattle. Blake Price and Paul Dolan are in Vancouver for Vancouver and LAFC. So that is your announced teams and your ref assignments for match day 38. For Atlanta and FC Cincinnati, the Spanish broadcast is Jorge Perez Navarro and Marcelo Balboa, if you are so inclined. That is your opening kickoff, brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee, kickoffcoffeeco.com. Once again, there's the QR code for those of you who are watching on Twitch and on Facebook and on the 280-character app. Don't forget to start your day off with Kickoff Coffee. Kick it off with Kickoff Coffee, by the way. Perhaps you should. You see what I did there? And once again, use the code SoccerDownHere15. Thanks to everybody who has. They, in turn, take 10% and reinvest it into youth programs and youth initiatives that they have come across, and that is very cool on their behalf. So Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. All right, so that's your assignments for Major League Soccer and for announcers and for center refs. And I know that there's been some early comments about stuff. I know that the window for Abby's mentioning the window for game number 2, November 5 through 8. Falcons being home on November 5. That means that you're probably going to be a weeknight game. So 6, 7, 8, as I bust out my calendar here. 6, 7, 8, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's probably that they don't want to interfere with Monday Night Football. So it's probably going to be either the Tuesday or the Wednesday for that particular second game. Falcons being home November 5, according to Abby, it's a weeknight game. And so, yes, Tom, so much for all the Saturday speculation. Saturday. So when it comes to the game, want to know what you're thinking with Cincinnati. Want to know what your concerns are. Want to know what you're looking at. Want to know what you've got under the magnifying glass. And also want to know what you're thinking about all the other matchups. Who's getting in, who's not getting in. Are you surprised somebody doesn't get in, who doesn't? All those kinds of things. I want to know what you're looking at for decision day. Atlanta United, yes. Not just Atlanta United. Tom, can I just move the pick to the right so it blocks the other QR code? You don't have to hold your hand up. No, that was how it was posted. When I downloaded it, and I know there's probably a way, Tom, yes, there is probably a way that I could do it. But that would require me knowing computers. So when I took the picture of the QR code and uploaded it, it went to the middle. When there's more than one of us here, when there's more than one of us here, I don't have to put up my hand. When there's just me, that I do because of where it does. And I apologize if by me holding up both of the QR codes, I'm confusing a QR code reader for someone who is interested in Kickoff Coffee and in our main sponsor that gives us halftime, our friends at a Lemonize service. So when I uploaded it, Tom, it went to the middle. And I can't manually slide it over. Or at least I don't know if I can or not. And Jason, I'm sure Jason doesn't want me monkeying with anything, messing with anything involving anything with our technology and all of our layout. So when it uploaded to the middle. When you make a full page promo like that, it uploads to the middle and balances itself out. You upload a picture, uploads to the middle. So, like I said, that is my knowledge base. Yes, Abby, one day. Abby says one day she will help me with all of this. And it is, as always, it is an adventure with me in technology. So, yes, Abby's threatening to come over here to Office HD. Well, all right. So Abby says, yeah, and Tom admits there has to be a way. Like I said, I'm sure there is, but I would probably screw up everything involving our system. Abby says there's a way, but it means schlepping to my part of town. Not necessarily. If you want to talk me through it, you can, and then I can screw things up, and you wouldn't have to show up. So, yeah. So that is your look at me and technology here today. Although not a surprise for anybody that it's an adventure involving me. Yeah, we have to do the picture first and foremost. So then basically that would mean pulling all of the scarves away and then just mashing up right up against the QR code here, right there. Make it non-crinkly. Okay, well, it's non-crinkly right now because it's kind of hanging behind some scarves. But so that is Tom is requesting that this go down this way. So yeah, there's got to be a way. So we'll see if there's a way, and we'll see what goes on involving me and technology. Recapping just so we can get to the half-hour mark. Once again, yesterday, if you missed it, we've got the playoff rundown for everything going on in USL Championship, USL League One. For those of you that want to watch any and other things, you can most certainly do that. And the playoff schedule is all laid out for USL Championship, and the review preview show is available up on the network if you've missed it on Saturday, and it's staggered times. It's Saturday and Sunday. Early out of the blocks, the 4-5 in the East, Memphis 901, Stephen Glass, and Lou City. 7 o'clock at Highmark, your 1-8, Pittsburgh and Detroit City. That match may set the sport back a good decade. 7:30 at Al Lang, Tampa Bay and Birmingham. Birmingham could muck up that one and make it interesting. 9 o'clock out west, San Antonio FC and Switchbacks. We'll go through the juice boxes at the end of the show. But San Antonio and Switchbacks, San Antonio in the 4-5, that could be a crazy one. But that's a great matchup there. Sacramento, New Mexico United at 10 o'clock Saturday night from a Heart Health in Sacramento for your 1-8. Orange County and El Paso at 10:30 for the 2-7. In the West, Sunday, 2 games, one at 4 o'clock. Charleston hosting Indy 11. I think Charleston could lose that one because you don't know which Indy team is going to come up and bite you. And I think Indy could probably take Charleston in that one in the 3-6. And San Diego and Phoenix at Torero Stadium, 10 o'clock Sunday night is your opening round for the USL Championship. You can catch that on ESPN Plus or through local providers in market. The quarterfinals in the USL playoffs, the 1 and the 2 get to watch. Union Omaha's the 1. North Carolina FC is the 2. They get to watch. While the 3, the 6, the 4, and the 5 go at it. Friday night, tonight, is your 4-5. Charlotte hosting Greenville at American Legion Memorial Stadium. And winner of that one advances. Saturday night at Future Legends in Colorado, Northern Colorado, hosting Forward Madison in the 3-6. And the winners, they reseed. Morning four card. Novel concept, reseeding. So if you have lower seeds, then they'll get paired up against higher seeds instead of just the one playing the winner of the 4-5 and the two playing the winner of the 3-6. So USL League One, once again, that's on ESPN Plus, and you can follow along with that all season long there. On NWSL, once again, the show will be out later this afternoon, because there is a match tonight. There's a match tonight, and it is Angel City and Reign. Angel City and Reign are tonight, and it's at Lumen Field, 10 o'clock on Paramount Plus. The 4-5, Reign hosting Angel City coming in with the offensive outburst that they had on decision day that cost Portland the Shield once again. Portland's your 2. They still get to wait until November the 5th, but they do not reseed in the NWSL. Sunday, 7 o'clock at Wake Med, Gotham goes to take on North Carolina FC. So the winner of Gotham and North Carolina will go to Providence Park Sunday, November the 5th for the early game. And then Paramount Plus has the matchup of the 4-5, OL Reign and Angel City. Winner of that one will go to Snapdragon to take on San Diego. That one is the late game on Sunday, November the 5th. So doubleheader Sunday, November the 5th, but they've got to get through this go-round first. And it will be interesting to see the 3-6 and the 4-5 to see who advances. But you got a while to wait. You've got almost 2 full weeks to wait before you get to your semifinals in the NWSL. So very, 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 very interesting there. Like I said, we'll try to track down one of the busiest folks in show business, Jen Hildreth, and get her thoughts in the in-betweens and find out what's going there. Let's see. Yes. What my part of town is, I am ITP. I am in Decatur. So that is where my part of town is. Abby, anyone going to the game or want to go, you've got an extra ticket, not in the supporters section. Morning four card, morning Ricky. Oh yeah. Ricky mentioning the expansion team in San Diego. Hey, who knew that they would attach an FC or an SC to it? So, San Diego's MLS expansion team got leaked a day early, and the Union Tribune out there in San Diego, they came out with it. Supposed to be Friday night outside of Snapdragon, but the Athletic leaked it, apparently, allegedly. San Diego Football Club. I'm shocked. San Diego FC. The crest, 18 lines, futuristically linked together like a soccer ball, representing the county's 18 cities. The colors, officially chrome and azul, but with a logo that also includes splashes of yellow, orange, and red that allows for multiple uniform combinations in the modern era where clubs have several different jerseys. Was supposed to have a brand reveal festival at Snapdragon, where they're going to start playing February of 2025. Posted a story about it, meaning the Athletic. And a lot of folks are doing their pros and cons that are attached to it. But the announcement, apparently, allegedly, for San Diego Football Club. The crest embodies the county's 4 principal virtues as identified in months of community meetings, focus groups, and lengthy surveys. Gratitude, proud not loud, diversity, and a state of flow. The flow, an explainer quoted by The Athletic says, quote, symbolizes how we perform at a peak level while embracing San Diego's unique rhythm of life, end quote. Okay. How could you be not loud as a soccer fan? as a fan of football, how could you not be loud? Gratitude, I get. Very cool. Proud, not loud. Yeah, we're cool. We got a team. We're cool. I'm down. Everything's great. How could you just be like, yeah, see, and that's the thing, Ricky, proud and loud would have been better. This is what I'm saying. Starting to feel like Seinfeld all of a sudden. Proud and loud would have been better. Proud, not loud. Yay. Go team, raw. It's like the old Lily Tomlin routine from Laugh-In. I'm Susie Sorority from the major majority, and if you can't hear me, I'll yell a little louder. Yay. That's what that sounded like to me. That's your YouTube search for today, kids. Susie Sorority from the major majority. Laugh-In, Lily Tomlin. That's what proud, not loud is. It comes across as. Proud, not loud. Yay. We're cool. We're all right. We're good. Diversity in a state of flow. State of flow. First thing I thought of when I heard state of flow was hair. I legitimately thought hair. Flow. Flow symbolizes how we perform at a peak level while embracing San Diego's unique rhythm of life. That's their flow. Flow. Proud, not loud, and a state of flow. This is what life is like when you are naming things having to do with soccer teams. This is the creative agencies. This is what we have to deal with here. And our guest coming up here in a second, once I find the open, gets to talk about corporate branding. He gets to sit in meetings about corporate branding and find out about, that doesn't work for me. Should we do this? Let's find out about corporate branding and building expansion teams, shall we? Because it's that time on a Friday. And there's more to talk about than corporate branding because this gentleman was very, very busy last time he was here in town. So, Cap, good morning.
Guten Morgen.
digging the eyeglasses this morning, huh?
Thanks. Yeah. So I started. These are blue light glasses.
Okay.
Because I'm spending more time on the computer these days and in
Yes,
front of the
you
screen,
are.
and
Yes.
I've been getting these headaches later in the day, and these glasses seem to be really helping.
So, I mean, how much time since you've retired are you now spending in front of a computer, talking to folks like me and talking to mentees and things like that? How much of a 9-to-5 thing is this now?
Probably, I don't know, 3 to 4 hours.
Wow.
In front
Okay.
of a computer every day. And so, yeah, it's a lot more. And then plus, obviously, phone throughout the day and stuff. So, yeah, it's a lot more electronic time than I was doing previous. So these glasses are a game changer for me. So
just checking, because, with all the time that we all spend in front of these things these days, that you are styling, by the way. When it came to the decision to come up with a particular style, who was in charge of this?
This was the only one that the company that I looked at offered, so it was a really easy choice, John.
Wow. They're like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, I get my sunglasses. I don't buy expensive sunglasses because I sit on them. I leave them places, So I go with Gooder, and they're like $20-$25. And so that was my first place. I looked for blue light glasses, and I saw these, and I was like, boom, done.
Okay.
No problem.
We have questions for you in the Twitch pitch that we'll get into as we go here this morning. Let's go back to so let me ask you this. Since I was talking about San Diego FC and their new branding, how much time do you get to spend in branding meetings to try to figure out what the footprint and the discussion and the impact of RIFC is going to be these days?
Not many right now, thankfully.
Okay.
A lot before we completed our crest and colors and stuff. So now we've got a full team assembled.
Mm-hmm.
That's their job, not mine,
Yes. Yeah. See, as always.
as always.
And how much have you learned about the business side of soccer since you've been a part of the RIFC administration? How much have you learned about different aspects of stuff that you knew about but you didn't know a whole lot about?
Yeah, a decent amount. And it's been fun to understand and to learn, and most of it. It's also extreme amount of headache sometimes of just so many moving parts and how much bureaucracy and red tape there is to get things done, to get a stadium built, and get partnerships, and get help from the city and state. And it's just it's a lot. And so yeah, it's
Yes, it is a lot. But I did notice in video that there are some rather large beams that were being put in place. And that's another cool milestone for everybody up there at RIFC.
It is, yeah. No, it was exciting because we had to pause there for a little bit while we sorted some things out, and now we're full go back at it. So, which is phenomenal. It still puts us on track to open in 2025. So, yeah, that was a big milestone. So excited about that, and I think it becomes more real for um, society up in Rhode Island when they see the stadium actually starting to go vertical.
Did you sign the beam after it was placed in the ground?
We did have some season ticket members go over and sign, but I did not go up to sign.
Are you going to kind of sneak into the construction site, put on a hard hat, and maybe sign some things in a couple of different places?
Maybe I'm going to be up there in a few weeks. We've got our open tryouts, and
Oh,
so I'm going to be headed up there to help out with that.
what kind of individual are you looking at in these open tryouts? I mean, I know that you want to have RIFC represented a certain way, both on the field and off. But what kind of individual are you looking for in these tryouts, other than that diamond in the rough that no one knew about, that flew below the radar until they walked in your door? But what kind of individual are you looking for?
Yeah, we're looking for hopefully number one somebody local, but even if they're not local, somebody that just didn't have the opportunity to play, pay for play sport, and just didn't have that opportunity to get seen, or maybe just moved to the U.S. The best example of the open tryout and how it could possibly work is the young man who plays for FC Dallas, and I forget his name, but he just played with the U23 national team.
Oh, Bernard Kamungo.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to an open tryout for like the League One team there in Texas, made it, and then now he's joined FC Dallas. Now he's on the youth national team, and it's like, that would be obviously amazing. But aside from that, we're just giving people an opportunity, also to make it feel like it's their club, and hopefully we can have one of their own within us. That said, John, we've got people coming to just try out from everywhere.
So has your phone specifically blown up? Has it been Coach Smith's phone that's been blowing up? It's like all the international minutes. Do you have international free, unlimited international minutes on your phone?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Or do you do WhatsApp?
Yeah, well, I would do WhatsApp if I was internationally calling, or FaceTime or something like that. We had to cut off registration to that point, Abby, because we expected somewhere around 200 people, and within a few days we were at 1,000.
Whoa, man!
Yeah, and it's impossible for us to see 1,000 people if we want to do it right, and we want to do it right. We don't want to just like bring them out there and hey, you got 20 minutes to show us, go. So we want to give them ample time to be on the field and show us what they got, and to do that, we can't get through 1,000 people. It's impossible.
Do you when you're looking at it's can you tell in the first 30 seconds, or is it something that you have to look at a bunch of different things? Hey, that guy's got it. That player's got it. or do you have to look at a full grid of work over a day?
You can probably tell within the first 2 minutes if someone doesn't have it.
Yeah.
So you can cut off a lot of people pretty quickly, just based off. And I don't know what the level, right? We're just hoping that there's no jean shorts at the tryout.
They'd have to come from the University of Florida for that to happen, sir.
We've got some people from Florida coming. So, that's the difficult part, right? You just don't know the level. But I do think that I think the level will be pretty good. I think that most people understand now that there's a certain level in order to make it. We did throw around the idea of first thing just doing a fitness test. That'll knock some people out real quick. But then we thought, you can't do that.
If somebody shows up in jorts, you realize you have to take a picture.
Totally. I'll take a picture with them.
Yes.
Yes. Totally.
That was definitely how to. I'm looking forward to seeing how that all of that come across on social media. Last time Atlanta United had a home match, you were here, and you got to hammer the spike. What was that like?
That was fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't love those types of things and like being the center of attention up there and stuff like that. So like the actual spike hit was cool because it's part of tradition and the fans love it, which is awesome. But for me, it was more just like the reception. Seeing everybody being out there again, feeling the love from the crowd, which is always amazing. So that was the real fun part for me.
And you wore an Anton jersey, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, thanks. I was always going to wear it. And I had gotten that early on in the season, and that was always the plan, just to wear that, make sure that we'll always remember Anton and what he did for the club.
No doubt. Abby wants to know, how did you enjoy the filming of the new promo?
Yeah. There might be a new playoff promo.
Whoa! Wait a minute here. Hang on. I've got to do this then.
You're big time, John.
Well, but no, you're big time. You're the one sitting there allegedly, possibly, probably breaking news that there might be.
I didn't break it. Abby asked about it, and so I had to answer. It was fun. It was a long day on that day. I think I got to the stadium at 10:30 on game day, and I was doing stuff between 10:30 and 7.
Yeah, and I mean, it was you when you came in, they had you doing the car wash, brother. I mean, it's like we need you to help cut the new promo, and then possibly cut another new promo, and then you've got the spike and all the social media and all these different things. I mean, they put you through your paces, man.
They did, yeah. No, it was enjoyable. Got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a little while, and it's always good to talk to most of the people in the building, and do the media rounds, and I got to see some of the fans out there, so they'll be part of the promo, which was really cool. And it was just a beautiful day weather-wise, so that worked out.
Because the star sets the bar.
It does.
Abby also wants to know if you liked the East Valley new building.
I unfortunately didn't get to see it, but the kids and my wife went and saw it on game day, and my wife said that their jaws were on the floor.
Nice.
Yes, they said it was like bigger than their current high school here in Ohio. They were like, "Oh my God, it's so big, it's so nice." Yeah, and so because when they were at this school, John, it was in need of upgrades, and they were trailers in the back because they had outgrown the building, and it was an amazing school with great people. But I'm glad that they got the upgrade they did.
With playoffs coming up, you got decision day coming up this weekend. How do you, as a player, not let the pressure get to you in probably one of the more pressure-packed situations you could have as an athlete. Decision day that could determine, not in or out in this particular case, but the where, the who, the future. How do you focus on the task at hand, block out people like me asking questions about decision day so you can be as locked in as humanly possible? And how difficult is that?
It can be challenging. I think that the most important part is you don't play the what if and oh, if this happens and this and this and this, right? It's like, well, we just go out there and try to win the game, and take care of the things that we can control, and then we'll see who we got from there. Right. The good thing is they're in. So if they win, right, they control their own destiny as far as they won't have to. John, and I should know this, is there any chance they play the play-in game?
No,
Okay.
because you're good. It's the standings, and literally right now, I mean, Atlanta could be basically in a tie for third in the Western Conference if they played in the Western Conference, and that's how crazy the East is this year.
Yeah, the East is
stupid with 2 O's. If Atlanta wins, they get to 53. They could be in play for the 5. There's such a gap right now. It looks like something in the neighborhood of 5, 6, 7. That's what you're hunting right now if you're Atlanta United. Montreal is 8 at 41, so that's your play-in, and no one south of the in the play-in function could be any higher than 43. So it's looking like 5, 6, 7, which means it would be something along the lines of the 2, the 3, and the 4, Orlando, Philadelphia, and some team there in Central Ohio.
So it really does not matter as far as like you're not going to get 2 of the 3 home games. Like you're going to get the 1. So it's just about who you play, and your result isn't the only factor, right? It's some of the other results. So, I think that, right, the best thing about these big games is these are the games you want to play in. These are the games you've been hoping to play in all year, right? Like these are the games that are easy to get up for and get motivated for, right? It's the middle of summer midweek games that can be challenging, when it's the grind. But hey, this fall weather and this time of year, like this is prime time games. Like these are the games you miss playing in as a pro. So for me, it's more like you embrace that pressure because that's what you want to have. That you don't want to be sitting on your couch with no pressure and no season to play for.
When you're talking to mentees, how many conversations do you have about embracing the pressure and handling it in that appropriate manner and not letting the pressure take advantage of you and you get to use it as a positive?
Yeah, we always try and redirect and reframe pressure, because we talk about who's got the most pressure on them. Players, the best teams. Why is that? Because they've earned it. They've shown that they are good players and good teams, and they've played to a certain level. So now people expect them to play to that level. So if you're feeling pressure, you've done good things in the past to earn that pressure, right? And so you should feel proud of yourself that you've got pressure on you, because if you had no pressure, that means people don't expect anything of you. And, that means that, you haven't done enough in the past to warrant that pressure, right? So you try and flip it around and say, hey, this is actually a good thing that I've got the pressure. And then we talk about Tiger Woods. He used to say that if he didn't feel pressure, he didn't play as well. Like he thrived off a little bit of pressure because he knew, okay, I need to play well today. I've got a little pressure on myself. Like it matters to me, and it's important that I play well today. And so then he used that as a motivating factor. So we talk about those types of things, just reframing it.
Because you mentioned something like that, and I think that you get that, for lack of a better phrase, it's almost like an emotional pushback where it's that emotional challenge in a situation like this, where you go into a situation, and the importance of the situation gives you that little extra burst of understanding what's going on here, and what you do with that little extra can determine, taking that extra step, being that little bit more successful than you would have been in the situation if you're just kind of like, yeah, okay, we're a 5, we're a 6, doesn't matter, we can just go in, kind of do our thing. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, and you need to use every little bit that you can. Right? that motivating factor is important. And whether that's external or internal, you need to use it. And yeah, every game means a lot. You don't know how many more games you got, and these are the big games you want to play. And does that mean, right? I always think back to 2018. Our last regular season game was a big one.
Yeah.
Right. We were playing for the Shield. I think in Toronto, and we got our butts kicked, and but I do think that if we didn't lose that game, would we have had the same mentality and the same focus and motivation to go in there and really prove something in playoffs? And I don't know. So yeah, it's crazy how things work out sometimes.
What was the match that you've had the most self-imposed pressure that you played in that you can think of? That you put the most pressure on yourself to perform in a mega important situation?
Yeah.
Was it an MLS Cup? Was it something in college? Was it?
No, I think it was either first game of Olympics or it was normally I would say a World Cup qualifier. Yeah, maybe a World Cup qualifier. I didn't start too many World Cup qualifiers. I did start a few, and I came in against Mexico in a World Cup qualifier in Columbus. But I guess the build-up wasn't as much because I wasn't starting. But those games, you think that's got more pressure just because you're representing the entire country and like everyone that plays soccer in the country, and playing for them because they wish they were in those shoes, right? And even at the Olympics, representing the whole country back home, like not feeling like you don't want to let them down, that you're representing all the soccer players out there. I will say that as far as MLS is concerned, I felt more pressure in my last MLS Cup than I did my first MLS Cup.
Understood.
And I think probably because the older I got, the more I realized this could be my last chance. This is probably my last chance. And I even thought that with Columbus. So, definitely there was a tremendous amount of pressure going into the MLS Cup.
And I mean, because in that kind of a situation, you're locked into that idea that, will I ever be back here? And that notion of, okay, I've really got to put everything out there. This might be my last time. But then there's that balance of throwing everything you have. I mean, all your hate, all your love, all your effort, and then almost being out of control as opposed to being in control of the situation, knowing the importance of it. I mean, that's got to be a delicate balance of trying to stay in control with all of this energy and trying not to be out of control with all of that energy.
Totally. And, when I think back to MLS Cup 2014 in Columbus, I remember the first 15 minutes, we had some tackles from players on our team that were like borderline red cards in MLS regular season. And I'm thinking, holy smokes, guys, you need to calm down. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, because you're right, you do need to harness that energy a little bit. Like, it's one thing to get amped up and and understand the gravity of the situation in the game, right? But there's another thing to hey, play your game, play how you play. Just go out there, play to your strengths, and control some of that aggression and adrenaline, because that's important too. Because I swear we could have gotten a red card in the first 10 minutes, and then that would have really hurt us.
So with your mentees, do you talk about that harness? Because I imagine that when you're either looking at film or you're there in person and you're seeing them running through their paces, it's probably more of a controlled environment. But when you get to look at them, I guess, on tape or however you get to look at it, or in a game state, you might see things differently when it comes to that energy and harnessing it and and channeling it in the right direction. Do you have those conversations as well about, hey, I saw this, maybe you need to kind of tone it down a little bit here to learn from it? Do you have those conversations too?
Body language is definitely a big one that we talk about, right? And lot of harnessing things is your body language, not only to teammates, to referees, to coaches, your own body language. So for sure, and some of which is independent, is player dependent, right? There's players like myself that were very low key to begin with.
No.
So I needed sometimes that, hey, get going here, let's go, fire it up here. But then you've got like Leandro, and you're like, dude, freaking dial it down, man. Like, or Brad, right? Where Brad's like, on his sixth espresso right before the game, and you're like, dude, would you chill the hell out, right? So you have to find out, right? And you want players that you don't want to play emotionless out there. And if guys really need to play with emotions and adrenaline and stuff, you don't want to dial it down too much, right? You don't want robots out there, and you need guys to play to their strengths. So we try and find that balance for sure within the individual.
But at the same time, for someone who's low key, there's got to be that moment that you judge. You can't just sit there and flip a switch and people sit there and go, holy ish, Parky's, yelling his head off here. You've got to be almost calculated, I would think, as someone who is a captain, who's in control and is low key, about when you punch that button to sit there and get everybody's attention, though.
Yeah, for sure. And then that's the best way to get people's attention, right? Is because you're not doing it all the time, right? The guys that do it all the time, you're like, it doesn't mean as much.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit to it. But and a lot of it is more just internal, right? You don't have to show the entire group that you're amped up, ready to go, right? But if you've got it internally, right, and you're feeling it and you're ready to go and you got that fire lit, then that's most important.
When did you learn to control or understand your own body language about the importance of, okay, I need to show this here. I need to be this vociferous at this point. I need to be this emotional here. When did you get to harness your body language to understand its importance and how it can relate to others?
Yeah, it took a while. I think that I've always been a pretty positive teammate and everything, but I still probably underestimated how much body language, how much just routines and habits that you're doing can influence other players. Particularly when you're one of the better players on the team, right? There's guys that are watching and learning and trying to emulate you, and at all times, and you don't know that. So definitely there's a piece of that, and also just how much simple things can make a difference, right? Of like giving a guy a clap when he makes a bad pass versus throwing your hands up in the air, right? It's a very small little thing that can really change that player's perspective of that little moment and give them either a confidence boost or take it away the next time they get the ball.
I just have this vision of you busting out the hairdryer. Literally, it's like knowing you as I've covered you and I've known you, and then all of a sudden you bust out the hairdryer in like the locker room or something, and just this vision of rah, and people sitting there going, "Damn, man, okay, I get your point, but you got to find the right moment for those kinds of things."
Yeah, for sure.
When was the last time you busted out the hairdryer as a player?
The proverbial hairdryer.
No, yeah, just you're sitting there and you're just like, Wah!
Oh, I don't know. Man, I don't remember. I would assume sometime in the playoffs that run. Yeah. Or actually probably, definitely 2019, there were many times actually. Okay. Because that season was full of moments that needed aggression.
How are you spending decision day, sir?
I'm actually going to the Crew game here with the family. I think they're playing Montreal.
That is true. That is accurate.
Yeah. I'll be going to the Crew game with the fam.
There you go. Now, when you go to the Death Star, how many hands do you have to shake, or do they have the special Michael Parkhurst entrance where you can kind of go to your seats and go to your booth?
Here in Columbus?
Yeah, when you go to lower.com, you go to a game there at the Death Star. Do you get recognized and stopped every 20 feet? Hey, Michael Parkhurst picture. Hey, Michael Parkhurst picture.
No. Every now and then, I'll get recognized, and but usually wear a hat and go incognito and stuff. But I don't get recognized up here in Columbus as nearly as much as I did down in Atlanta. But we are guests of ownership here this coming weekend, so we'll be in a fancy suite.
Ew. Well, hello. So the gentlemen in the family are going to be in the suite of the ownership, perhaps.
Yes.
Of the Crew 96. Yeah. So it would be an interesting experience, Mr. Parkhurst, who's part of an ownership group himself, and they're having things smashed into the earth to prove that there is stuff going on in Rhode Island, and there's things being built, and there's progress, and we enjoy progress. We always enjoy catching up with Mr. Parkhurst as he is turning into a mogul.
Exactly.
Yes,
I did laugh out loud, by the way, about 2008 Super League champion.
Yeah. We Shooter McGavin is our resident New England Revs. And Shooter wears it. You mentioned wearing hearts on sleeves. Shooter is less than pleased with the current state of affairs in New England and lets us know about it with colorful metaphors on a daily basis.
Yeah. I understand. I understand. That's all I'll say. Well, you've got options starting next year. I'll just throw that out there.
Well, yeah, and we are looking forward to seeing what goes on at the home of the Bryant Bulldogs as things continue to grow and evolve up there with the RAFC. And yeah, we are planning on coming up as just to let you know, we are planning on dropping by to see how things are in the USL Championship. Okay.
Awesome. Love it.
All right. Well, enjoy being a mogul this weekend. So.
And I will.
Yeah, and he's going to have his hat on. He's going to be incognito. That's going to be his name, Michael Incognito. So, Cap, as always, great to catch up with you. Great to see you when you were down here hammering in the Golden Spike for the last home match. Very, very cool stuff across the board. We'll catch up with you soon, my friend. Enjoy Decision Day.
Thank you. You all as well.
As a mogul, he's enjoying.
Have a good weekend, you peasants.
Yes, the peasants, yes. You got to get the hand with. Yes, all of you peasants. Enjoy. I'm a mogul. I'm here make sure that when they do the cutaway of the booth, that you're really the hat's like way down and you're wearing those blue tint glasses. It's like, you're just kind of like this, maybe just with the glass, with whatever it is. If it's like, Cutie Delight or something, and you're just kind of like, yeah, it's right there in the glass. Cat, be good.
Yeah.
Bye. See, this is what he puts up with every single time. Michael Parkhurst, that MF Parkhurst on the Twitters, that BG mentoring. It's half past crazy with Michael, but it was good to catch up with him about coming down, about what pressure on the decision day is, those kinds of things. And very, very cool to catch up with Cap. And, when he might have broken a little news. Might have broken a little news. Abby, heading north for the weekend as soon as the Abstermobile is packed. Be safe, please. That's all we wish for. Be safe, have fun, come back. It is the top of the hour, and Shooter is on a screed, and I mean that in the most loving sense possible about Clint PA and what's going on. Abby, no doubt, momentum's key. Haven't had a win since September 23rd. Frankly, off the top of my head, I'm just wondering what Cincinnati's lineup looks like. They got nothing to play for. Do they rotate? Bring in their starters maybe if they're trailing after 60? That's my gut, just to get them some reps, because they're not going to be playing for 2 weeks. So I could be talked into them starting and then being pulled depending on results. But since there's nothing to play for, there's nothing to play for. So we'll see what happens there. We'll go through all the juice boxes, go through all of the matchups, because it is match day final in the regular season. We'll get into that coming up in just a little bit. But since it is, since it is the top of the hour, since it's past the top of the hour, who am I kidding? It is time to read a promo and catch up with our friends from Eliminize as I put the sign back up. Because, when Michael's here, I have to make sure that the Rhode Island FC scarf is fully available for everyone to see. And as I turn and try not to fall, it's not bad. No glare. For odor-free clean fresh air, that's a good way to start a promo. For odor-free clean fresh air, one place you need to go, and it's our friends at a Lemonize Service, deodorizing enclosed spaces like houses, apartments, and condos. They've created a customized solution that eliminizes all organic odors, including those like pet, cigarettes, and food. Realtors and property managers use the Lemonize Service to eliminate bad odors to help them sell or rent their homes that much faster. Lemonize offers a turnkey process, makes it easy to work with said realtors and property managers. Kind to the environment. We like that these days. Offering a green way of going about getting rid of odors without any kind of toxic residue whatsoever, different than Febreze or other masking agents that you may have either under the sink or above you in the cupboard, because when you reach under the sink or above you in the cupboard and grab that particular masking agent, there's a reason it's called a masking agent, because when you spray it in the air, all it does is mask the odor. It does not attack the problem like our friends at a Lemonize Service do with their proven scientific formula. Pricing either by the cubic foot or parts per million to come up with a price that's affordable for you, as I've already dropped my first pen. Offering results in 24 hours or less. One place you need to go, it's the website. I'm going to have to grab another pen because I can't find it under the desk. So, if you got any questions, frequently asked or otherwise, one place that you need to go, it's the website, lemonize.com. But do us a favor here at SDH. What you will do is after the .com, go /Atlanta, so they know what part of the world that you are addressing them from, so they can help you with your issues. Full homework assignment, ELIMINIZE.com /Atlanta, lemonize.com /Atlanta. The Lemonize Service, proud sponsors of everything SDH here on a Friday, getting you ready for your weekend and decision day for 2023. And obviously, we'll save the Atlanta United match for last and go through the rest of Major League Soccer. Shooter's got a Superliga scarf. Man, that's pretty cool. Shooter's like, just 2 more weeks, put us out of our misery, Columbus. And so are you guys calling it PA brained? Is it a PA brained scheme, Shooter? Team in shambles? So here's some of the cleaner comments. Shooter says, Clint, PA brain has the team in shambles. Way to go, guys. Waste another year of heel. By the time we get competitive again, cars will fly. Man. 2008 Superliga champion, Michael Parkhurst. All right, so once again, we'll go into juice boxes and we will go into matchups themselves. Clint, PA pants. Okay. All right. I understand that. I get that. And, I get that completely, Shooter. Going into the juice boxes and the matchups, once again, remember, all your Eastern Conference matchups, 6:09 kick. All your Western Conference matchups, 9:09 kick. And we'll go over the standings once again. Eastern Conference, once again, Cincinnati's got nothing to play for other than points. 68 points. They're 8 points clear with a match to go. They're number 1. Orlando's number 2. That's locked in. They're at 60. We know the 1. We know the 2. 3, 4, 5, we don't know. Philadelphia's at 55 points. Columbus is at 54. New England's at 52. Shooter's not optimistic. We don't know the 5, the 6, and the 7 because New England's at 52, Atlanta's at 50, Nashville's at 49. We don't know the 8 and the 9 because Montreal's at 41 points. Goal difference of -15, 2-12-2 away from home this year. DC, they're in the barn. They're at 40 points. They're done. Their manager took a new gig. Red Bull's at 40 points. Same record as Chicago, ahead of them on goal difference. Charlotte's at 40 points, had an opportunity to really cement themselves into a playoff spot, but did not hold a 1-0 or a 2-1 lead in Fort Lauderdale in the midweek against Messi and friends. Messi says he's going to play this weekend. Like I said, we'll check the juice boxes in just a little bit, but Charlotte is the one looking up because they only have 9 wins. They need to win to get to 43 points and have 10 wins. Everybody else at 40 points already has 10 wins. So that's the difficult task for Charlotte heading into Decision Day. NYC still mathematically alive at 38 points with their match at Citi Field. They'd have to win. Everybody else would have to lose. and they would be the 8 if that happened. 8, 11, and 14. They win. Everybody else loses. They would be in, but that's a tall order for NYC, obviously. Messi and friends out. Toronto out. John Herdman apparently is going to be on the touchline for this last match for Toronto. Let the hot seat talk begin. 0-13-4 away from home this year, Toronto FC. Western Conference. All Caps got nothing to play for. They're at 56 points. They're just playing for points and that record that we talked about. They could set a record for first-year expansion club points in a season. They could tie it with a point. They could clear it with a win. We don't know the 2, the 3, and the 4. LAFC's at 51. Seattle's at 50. Houston's at 48. In turn, we also do not know the 5 and the 6 because Salt Lake and Vancouver are both at 47 points. RSL has one more win. Vancouver's got the better goal difference. Portland is at 43 points, and therefore we don't know the 7, the 8, or the 9 because you've got 5 teams chasing after 3 spots. Portland at 43 points. Dallas at 43 points, 10 wins. Better on goal difference than San Jose, 43 points, 10 wins. They've got 5 goals to play with. Kansas City, 41 points, 11 wins. Minnesota, 41 points, 10 wins. Austin eliminated. LA eliminated. Colorado, not wooden spoon. So that's where the craziness is for these matchups on your Saturday. We'll let you know what's on the free side of Apple TV. We'll let you know what's on Season Pass's side. 6 o'clock. Season Pass has Charlotte and Miami, no surprise. NYC and Chicago, this one's at Citi Field. Nashville and Red Bulls is on Season Pass. Cincinnati, Atlanta's on free TV, as well as Columbus, Montreal, New England, Philly, Toronto, and Orlando. 9 o'clock. Season Pass has Kansas City, Minnesota, LA, Dallas, Portland, Houston, San Jose, Austin, which means the Apple TV free sides, Colorado Rapids, RSL, St. Louis, Seattle, Vancouver, and LAFC. So that's where you can watch things. So let's get into juice boxes and fun facts. Once again, remember, 09 kicks across the board. Charlotte and Miami. Charlotte 9, 11, and 13 at Bank of America Stadium in front of an anticipated crowd of 4 gazillion people. Ready to see Lionel Messi trot out there for the last game of the year at 9, 17, and 7. Your juice boxes attached to this one. Charlotte is a favorite at a plus 108. Draws a plus 300. Inter Miami on the road is a plus 210. Fun facts. Charlotte earned the 2-2 draw on Wednesday. Actually, that's poorly phrased. Inter Miami was the team that earned the 2-2 draw. Earning the 2-2 draw there. Jared, as always, your timing's impeccable.
What did I do now?
You jumped in just as we started the weekend whip around patent pending trademark coming sooner, hopefully, rather than later.
Oh, let's do it.
Charlotte and Messi and friends. The fun fact that I was going to start with Charlotte and Messi and friends. Charlotte earned a 2-2 draw at Inter Miami on Wednesday. That is poorly phrased. They did not earn a 2-2 draw. It should be the other way around. They blew leads of 1-0 and 2-1. Messi and friends, without Messi, earned the 2-2 draw in Boca on Wednesday. The first point by either team in the first away point by either team in the 4-game history of the series. Lone previous meeting between the sides in Charlotte was a 1-0 victory for the hosts in May of 2022 on a second-half goal by Andrei Shinyashiki. Charlotte's lost only one of their last 17 in all comps dating back to late March. Unbeaten in a club record 9 straight since a loss to Nashville on May 20, but they've only won 3 of them. Inter Miami's played 20 matches in all comps since Messi's debut. In the 10 he started, they're 6-4, outscoring opponents 30-11. In the 10 that he didn't start, they are 3-3-4, outscored 19-15. Kerwin Vargas got a goal and an assist in the draw on Wednesday. second MLS game with both a goal and an assist, April 15 versus Colorado. Vargas is the second Charlotte FC player with multiple games with a goal and an assist, joining Karol Świderski, who did not play in the midweek. My guess is he plays on the weekend. Inter Miami has collected 11 points on the road this season, fourth fewest in Major League Soccer in 2023. 6 of those came in the 2 matches in which Messi played, while Miami's collected 1 fewer point in the 14 away matches without Messi. 5, 11 losses, and only 1 win. What say you, Jared Smith?
I mean, that was a lot of words just to say that I don't trust Charlotte. I mean, that was a lot of talking just for me to tell you that I don't trust Charlotte to get 3 points.
Yes, exactly.
There's some good pieces in Charlotte, man, but like they cannot get over the hump.
Nope.
They are in a situation now where they need help, and I don't know if they get 3 points at home.
Yeah.
Even if they do, I don't know if they get the requisite help to get into the playoffs.
Check.
So, I mean, I'll take a very disheartening draw, but a very weird draw.
Okay.
There's something to be taken away from that game, though, for Charlotte against Miami in the midweek, though. Like, they played better than when they played Messi in the Leagues Cup, because when they played him in the Leagues Cup, I thought they looked scared.
Yeah.
Messi's back. You didn't look scared when you played him in the midweek. He's back, though. I need you to play with a similar – you don't have to play reckless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these things are not the exact same. Like, these two are not equated. You don't have to play some, like, suicidal style, but I need you to play with some bravery against Messi. And, yeah, he might burn you. Get in line.
Yes.
Bro, he's been burning the best players of his generation. Multiple generations at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have to show a little bit of bravery.
Yep. Be brave. That's what you're hunting for if you're Charlotte. And it will be interesting. It will be interesting. The offseason will be interesting. Willie P will be joining us at the turn of the next week to let us know what his thoughts are about what's going on. But since we have been joined by Jason, let's go ahead and talk about Atlanta and Cincinnati. When are you leaving, sir?
Here in a couple of hours. I didn't mean to just like jump in and come running in through the Kool-Aid man through the brick wall, but
why are you stealing my gimmick?
That's what I do.
Okay.
I steal gimmicks.
Oh man. I was practicing this week, getting ready for this.
I mean, it was weird because you were dealing with a Tuesday session that you were very shorthanded. You hadn't gotten everybody back yet. I don't think you had gotten anybody back yet from international duty by Tuesday for the session. Saba had arrived, I think, late Monday night. So he was in the building when the team was training, but, you know, not training with the group. Thursday they trained, and it was a little bit longer session than a normal Thursday on a match week. I think reincorporating the guys, probably working on a couple of things they want to focus on for the Cincinnati game. You know, there's a back and forth about how you approach a game like this. And honestly, I don't know, because, yeah, you can move up to 5th. You could fall to 7th. What difference does it really make in the long run outside of the matchup that you're going to get? And, you know, Gonzalo Pineda is never going to tell you or me or anybody else which one of the possible matchups that he would want the most. But you might get tipped off to it late in the match as you see the possible changes. But the idea of, yeah, you're going to have to go through Cincinnati more than likely to get to MLS Cup, and you're going to have to do it in their building. The idea that you don't want to show them too much, that's not how this sport works. Teams are teams at this point. Of course, there's a set piece routine or two in the bag that you might break out in a game like that. But in terms of the way you play, you are what you are. And you have to execute on the day. You know what Cincinnati is. They're not going to have any special surprises for you. They don't have any trick plays lined up for the postseason. That's not how it works. So you got to go in and I think perform well. Regardless of the result, you've got to perform well to get some momentum going into the postseason where, look, if you perform well on the road against the best team in the East, then you go on the road in the first round, you're going to feel a little bit better about that.
Jarrett, go for it.
Yeah. So looking, talking about where you might finish in the standings. The only thing I'm considering here is the fact that I feel like the East is such a blood sport. I'm gonna try and finish as high as I can, and I get what you're saying. I'm gonna try and finish as high as I can because I don't trust one of these teams like Nashville to win a 6 or 7 seed game, and then you end up hosting a team like that in the next round if you get through a Philadelphia or an Orlando, whoever the hell it might be. As far as you were talking about keeping guys, seeing what the game holds for you, who are you starting, or do you hold some guy for later in the game, just depending on how he's feeling?
I think a lot of that's going to depend on how the guys came back from national team duty. And remember, I mean, at this point, you've got, it's about to say it's down to a science, but it literally is a science. Sports science is a real thing. And national teams have people who specialize in that. So do club teams. So the club has gotten the reports of every player who went away on national team duty. They know how hard they worked. They know how much they ran. They know where they were before they left. So anybody who is a possible injury concern, and I don't believe there are any from what we know and what we've seen with our eyes, but if there's anybody who, like Luis Abram would be the one that I probably would think about, in that he played 2 games for Peru. He played the most minutes. It's a lot of travel. He got back for the Thursday session. Where is he physically? If there's any question about that, you don't start him in a game like this because it doesn't matter ultimately. And I mean, going back to what you started with, Jarrett, like, that's a lot of what ifs about who could upset who. And then it could be this matchup down the road, all those things that are possible. There's no way to control any of that. I think you definitely want to win this match. You're not going in trying not to win. No way. That's not how Gonzalo Pineda, that's not how this team is built. But you're also thinking bigger picture in the long run about usage, about possible injuries. And I think when you get late in the day, I'm talking after the 60th minute, if you're in the matchup that you want in the first round, you might do things differently than you would if you want to move up to get a different matchup. The matchup is the number one thing in the first round. You can't control what other matchups happen and what happens in those games. You possibly sort of can control who you get matched up with. And that's going to dictate, I think, how you handle the final 30 minutes of it. But going in, Luis Abram would be the biggest question mark for me, just based on how many minutes he played for Peru over the break.
When it comes to Cincinnati, we know the shiny object. Who else should focus on if Cincinnati is doing what they want to do at their offense?
It's not about the individuals for Cincinnati, in my opinion. It's more about the way that they play. You have to avoid the transition moments that they thrive in. You have to be smart with the ball. You have to finish your attacking sequences. You have to, I think, and it was something that Mateus Osetu talked about a little bit yesterday, you have to dictate the tempo of the game as well. At times you're going to need to slow it down. And on the road, nothing wrong with that at all. Slow it down. And this is something that has become a big talking point in England right now. Is I think in some English media circles, they're still baffled by teams that actually want to keep possession, and it's scary, and they might have nightmares. They've definitely had nightmares about goalkeepers and center backs putting their foot on the ball. And that's something that we see Atlanta United players do, and it's something we see a lot of players around the world do. It's something that against the Cincinnati, against the Philadelphia, it's very important because it's a signal to your team, hey, we're going to be patient here. It's also a trigger for the opposition to come out and chase, and you can pass through them. So I think at times, and Josetsu's somebody who does this really well, dictate the tempo to avoid the transition moments where Cincinnati's got a number of players who thrive in those. Barreal is one who's scary in open space. Plenty of others. It's what they do. It's how they're built. It's about the collective. You have an incredible MVP level player in Lucho Acosta on top of the collective, but for Cincinnati, it's about the collective and the way that they play.
Jared,
looking at the roster for Atlanta United and guys who might be kind of, guys who usually don't get a start, do you look at any rotation with giving guys an opportunity in this game to say, hey, I know you haven't had as many minutes, especially lately, but I might need you in the postseason. Can you show me something in a hostile environment here in a game that has some stakes, but this isn't like a do or die?
I don't think you're looking at it from the start. I don't think you're doing it to force it, but yeah, that could affect your substitutions. And I think one player that I come back to is Derek Etienne, who has been good in his last couple of substitution appearances. He's done all the right things, according to Gonzalo Pineda, in terms of dealing with losing playing time. And he has. And he hasn't played well this season. He's struggled. You're probably going to need him at some point, especially with Tyler Wolff's injury. Now, Gonzalo talked about Tyler yesterday and said that he said it multiple times about Tyler's pain threshold, and where they're at right now is just being careful that Tyler's not being the crazy, insane, tough guy that it sounds like he is, and playing through something that can be a bigger problem, as opposed to he's okay, he's recovering. Yes, he can deal with the pain and he can play and contribute. Etienne is going to be needed during this time. So he wouldn't surprise me at all if he gets maybe more playing time out of those guys, Jarrett, but I'm not expecting rotation just to do it. I'm not expecting them to get too tricky with the starting lineup. I think more than anything, it's about building some momentum going into the postseason.
So Alex says there's a collective, but Lucho is the board queen.
Yes, Alex is always correct. The Borg queen, yes, that is Lucho.
What are the broadcast plans for you and Mike?
So we're on at 5:30 for the Five Stripes Countdown. Kickoff will be just after 6 o'clock. We will keep you posted on everything going on around the East. I'll be kind of doing two different things in this broadcast. I'll be keeping up with all the other scores and updates, and also talking about the game that's happening in front of me. It's a weird one just because it has that weird feel of, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much as some other games matter. It's important in terms of where you end up, but there's so much out of your control in that. You kind of just want to get right in terms of the way that you play. So we'll be talking about all of that. 92.9 The Game, the Odyssey app, the Atlanta United app, and a very short full-time report tomorrow before we hop on a plane to come back, but we will know at least what the matchups are. I don't know if we'll know the schedule by that point. I'm not sure if MLS will drop that tomorrow or if that will drop more on Sunday. But at least we'll know who the matchup is by the time we finish everything in Cincinnati tomorrow.
No doubt about it. Be safe, my friend. We'll pick up soon.
Adios.
That's Jason. So Jason is Jason's the Kool-Aid man, Jarrett. He comes crashing in and discusses things.
Apparently. It'll be an interesting game. I mean, it'll like I said, you're not 100% locked into where you are, but now you're just dictating who you're going to play in round one, where you go road, home, road. You do want to show something to Cincinnati, though, and you would love to go punch them in the nose. You don't know. I assume Cincinnati's going to treat this like any other game. Like, you're going to be careful. Like, if somebody feels anything or somebody starts feeling a little tired, Cincinnati can rotate guys, that kind of thing. Just keep guys fresh for the playoff, but you also don't want to to push guys so much that you end up with injuries and then a weird situation if you're Cincinnati going into playoffs where you're going to be playing the wild card seed, and God only knows who that's going to be, because there's 5 teams fighting for those spots that presumably I would presume that Montreal's going to be possibly part of that, but damn it, we'll see. Montreal has to go to Columbus.
And when you got that one, your predecessor in the guest chain apparently is going as a mogul, and he's going to be part of the guests of the ownership, or some of the ownership there at the Death Star.
Oh, nice.
He's gonna wear a hat, and he's gonna go incognito.
I'm trying to think of a better name for that stadium.
How about Lower.com Field?
Yeah, I mean, I know they called it the Death Star for Star Wars night or whatever, but like it. I'm always fascinated when you give them like these really weird name stadiums. Like, I think it's the Southside Baseball Stadium.
Yeah.
Is now like Guaranteed Rate Field.
Yes, that is true.
Which is just, ugh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, the check clears, so it is what it is.
And that's basically it. Yeah. That was the gentleman that preceded you also might have broken some news about the possibility of a new playoff video.
Oh.
He's like, well, Abby asked him about it, and so the gentleman was like, well, there might be another one. And so, of course, I hit the breaking news sounder, and he denied that there would be. He was just asked about it. So my guess is that there's probably going to be a new
confirm nor deny.
Yes, it was a non-confirmation confirmation coming from Michael Parkhurst. And so that was fun to have Cap, fun to have Jason. Just want he and Mike to juggle all those chainsaws and do all the cat herding that they're going to be doing on Decision Day for early broadcast for them on 92.9 The Game on the Odyssey app. Okay, back to the whip around and the juice boxes for Atlanta and Cincinnati, by the way. Cincinnati's a minus 133. Atlanta's north of plus 300 in that particular game. So interesting numbers posted by our friends at the juice boxes. You mentioned Columbus and Montreal, as did our friend Michael Parkhurst. As 15-9-9 entertains 12-16-5 at 6:09 on the free side of Apple TV. Juice boxes in this one are, not surprising that they would be leaning in, one particular direction. Crew at a minus 227, basically CF Montreal north of plus 500, and that number has grown during the week. I'm not going to stress over the fun facts in this one, should I?
No, it's a waste of time.
That's what I figured. So Columbus, they're favored, and they're big favored, and the margin is there. So good on you.
Yeah.
NYC and Chicago at Citi Field on season pass.
Slap fight.
I
mean, just it's a slap fight to see who draws first blood, man.
Uh-huh.
NYC is still technically alive in this.
Yeah.
And this is one of those games that is really fun because if NYC wins, not only is NYC still technically alive, they need an obscene amount of help. But in doing so, they would basically be plunging the knife into Chicago's playoff hopes and then throwing them off the cliff in the process in one fell swoop.
Yes, that is absolutely true. So right now, NYC is a minus 149. Your draws a plus 301, and Fire are a plus 374. Do I even need to do anything?
No, I mean, you know what? Let's just ruin everyone's day and call it a draw. That way NYC is eliminated and Chicago's, dead. Let's just clean, sometimes you can't clean the whole table at once, but, when you rip the tablecloth out from under, sometimes you can take a couple glasses and plates with you, and that'll be what happens here if they draw. Give me the draw and just put them out of their misery.
Yes, but both of you not allowed to come to the party. Nashville and Red Bulls at 6:09 on season pass at Geodis. 13-10-10 entertaining 10-13-10. And your juice boxes in this one, Nashville Nashville is the dog at home at a plus 179. Your
Love
draw.
when other people agree with me to like question Nashville. Makes me happy.
Draws a plus 250 and Red Bulls are a plus 142. So Red Bulls are a road favorite at Geodis against Nashville.
Well, Red Bulls need it desperately. Like Red Bulls are trying to get in. Again, the funniest thing about this is that if Red Bulls get in, it would probably be on goal difference. And the reason they'll have the goal difference advantage is because Atlanta went up there and decided to just like play in a sandbox instead of actually playing against Red Bulls, and decided to literally make all of the mistakes in a 90-minute period that you can't make. They created a Tom and Mansky video on how not to play against Red Bulls. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't like play with the ball and try and pull Red Bulls out, because it's a tactic to get around Red Bulls. To do what you did at home against them, where you have the ball and you try and pull up their press and go over the top at times, that's an option. But you can't like get nervous and then have Juan Prata like try and yeet the ball right into someone's face 15 feet away, and it triggers a counter. They made a Tom and Mansky video, Fred McGriffin all, on what not to do against Red Bulls, and that might be the damn difference in Red Bulls making the playoffs. That is magical.
Yes, absolutely. We always enjoy Tom and Mansky references here on the show.
And Nashville is kind of scary in a playoff situation too, because I don't know who they'll play, but
they're going to bore you to death, and they'll take it to PKs, and then and
they'll take it to PKs, and they'll take it to PKs, and they'll sit back, not do a damn thing, and wait for you to screw up, and then Hani Mukhtar is running the counter with Sam Surridge, and all of a sudden you're looking up and you're like, well, we looked pretty good. Mm-hmm. Then Nashville got a goal on a counter. Then Hani Mukhtar flopped and got a set piece, and Walker Zimmerman headed a ball home, and all of a sudden, we're down 2-0, and now we got problems.
And Schaffelberg caused all kinds of hell on the wing.
Jacob Schaffelberg, it's the 88th minute. Everyone wants to die, but Jacob Schaffelberg came in 10 minutes ago, and he's running wind sprints.
Yes.
So, they're not fun in the playoffs. I'm interested in the idea that Red Bulls would be the road favorite, and that Nashville will be the home dog. But it'll be interesting because it's a team that wants to press and wants to take the ball off you against a team that doesn't want the ball and can't take what's not there. So we'll see.
Yes. New England and Philly on the free side of Apple TV at Gillette at 6:09.
You know what the stupid damn part is? Like,
all of it.
One of these teams, this might be just like turn around and play again, because somebody gets to play New England. Shooter's already gone off on it this week, I know. Somebody gets to play this weak ass New England team that is just kind of leaking fluid everywhere.
Correct.
Like, we thought it was windshield wiper fluid. Nah, man, that's oil. The O-ring's cracked.
That's the transmission. The transmission and the engine's about to fall out from underneath the hood. Yeah. I asked Shooter earlier in the show if he was referring to Clint P.A. Brain, if it was a P.A. brained idea to bring him in as manager, and he says no, Clint P.A. Pants. So that's where Shooter is. Shooter came in for the nice screed and walked.
I mean, well, I don't trust New England at this point.
And they're favored. They're a minus 101. Draws a plus 296, and Philly's a plus 229.
Give me the plus 229. I don't care if Philly can't finish consistently. Give me that. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. So that's what you're staring at with that one. Also on the board at 6 o'clock, after 14-9 and 10, entertained 15-8 and 10. It is Toronto and the purple team at BMO.
Oh, God.
John Hurtman.
Why do we even have to play this damn game? Can't we just give Orlando the 3 points and let everybody rest?
John Herdman will want this one to be played so he can get a gauge of his talent pool.
Whatever.
Half of them who won't be there. Bernadeschi and Insigne will not be there next year. Guarantee you that. They're not going to want anything to do with any part of this. John Hurt.
This is going to be a really stupid game.
Yeah, I think so.
Orlando's going to feel good about themselves going to the playoffs, I assume. And as I say that, watch Orlando somehow lose this stupid-ass game.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can lose it and still be fine. They're 5 points ahead of
I know. It doesn't matter if they lose it. They'll still be fine. I get that. Watch them lose this stupid-ass game because it's MLS and it's Orlando, and like they'll lose it and then decide, we'll just lose to Orlando and then just start burning people's houses down in the playoffs. Because Orlando's a problem.
Yes. So that's your 6 o'clocks. And once again, mercifully, they did put Toronto and Orlando on the free side of Apple TV.
That's rude. You want no. You put a better game on the free side of Apple TV if you want people to come watch a damn league.
Like Miami, Charlotte, which is on season pass.
No, I'm thinking like, man, I don't know, like
all the other games are on season pass. Charlotte, Miami's on season pass. NYC, Chicago's on season pass. Nashville Red Bull's on season pass. Everything.
Put that on there. Put Columbus and Montreal on the free side.
It is.
You want to advert? Okay, great. Go ahead and put a game on that's actually like, unless people just want to go watch a snuff film. I don't know. Put a better game on the free side, man.
9 o'clocks on the free side. Colorado RSL, St. Louis and Seattle, Vancouver and LAFC. Season pass has from the 9 o'clocks. Kansas City, Minnesota, LA, Dallas, Portland, Houston, which should be on the free side. San Jose and Austin. That's on season pass. So Colorado and Salt Lake. Colorado is not going to be wooden spoon. 5, 16, and 12, entertaining 13, 12, and 8. And Colorado is a plus 174 at home. No surprise, they're the dog. Your draw is a plus 270. RSL is a plus 139. What say you, Jared Smith?
Jesus. Not Colorado.
So therefore, it's RSL on the road, and they need the points because the West is stupid.
Yeah, some poor soul's going to have to play RSL in the first round. RSL will be like a 5 seed or a 6 seed or some stupid thing like that. And like, I'd be very tickled if Colorado won this game. RSL dropped in the seeding because I don't want to play RSL.
No,
I want nothing to do with that team that's going to hit long balls and get it up to Arango and let him put stuff away, and they're just going to lead the world in X-Dog. So,
yes.
Don't need a bunch of cats in here.
No, sir. That is true. That is absolutely true. Also on the board, we mentioned Kansas City and Minnesota. That one's at Children's Mercy, and it is...
It's to be a mercy when this game's over.
11, 14, and 8, entertaining 10, 12, and 11.
You know what, Minnesota? Just keep staring out at the Salinas River, thinking about the pretty bunnies. Just tell you about the rabbit.
Sporting is a minus 116. 309. And Minnesota is a plus 264 on the road. I do not anticipate that there will be a Pookie party or that Peter Vermes might kill himself if he comes anywhere close to the touchline.
And so Matt Doyle made a really good point about this in his weekly write-up. That I will direct. No, calm down. I will direct anyone to it. Is that it's a very fun game because both Pookie and Alan Pulido are wildly overperforming their XG right now. Like, yes. you could convince me this ends up like 3-3 with both of them just going off because they're both outperforming their numbers. Right, they're both on hot streaks. They're not really sustainable, and it's
they're
funny.
Both on a heater. They're on a heater.
Yes, you got two people at the table on a heater. Somebody got to go home sad.
So, by the way, reminder: fix your fantasy teams for the last week of the regular season. So Kansas City is once again they're favored, and like I said, take the over. I think the over is probably the play here. with Jarrett offering up that particular piece of wisdom, let's check the totals here, shall we? 3.5 is a plus 117. 4.5 is a plus 270. 5.5 is a plus 575. I'd take the 4.5 and run.
Yeah, I would take it. Both these teams will score goals. Both these teams will be fun. Like, they're both probably going to go home and think about stuff. Like, Minnesota already did the thing they should have done a while ago with Adrian Heath. I don't think Kansas City does the same. But if you want, like, if he survives the offseason, if Peter Vermes survives the offseason, you want odds on a coach in early 24 to watch for the first cannon? It'd be the guy who's also the GM. Kansas City.
That is true. Also on the board at the 9 o'clock starts, LAG and FCD on season pass from Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Juice boxes in this one. LAG is favored at a plus 131. Draws a plus 280. FC Dallas is a plus 174. What say you, Jared Smith?
Dallas gets this across the line because the Galaxy leads the known universe and probably a couple of unknown universes in goals allowed.
And also in salary to players who are underperforming their XG. See Douglas Costa and an injured Chicharito. So Billy Sharp, by the way, at the age of 206, is leading.
I feel like it's mean to Chicharito. Like, he flew his knee out.
Yeah. And, I mean, you're when you think everything is fine, then something happens. And they're having to rely on the Bishop, Dejan Joveljic, and a 712-year-old Billy Sharp up top. And Douglas Costa, who's making, I think, $4.5 million, and he's like top 20, 25 in the salary department for LAG, and has not been worth the investment. So we'll see what happens with a lot of the LAG salaries in the offseason, and possibly even Greg Vanney. We'll see what happens there with Vanney after the season's over. I wonder if we have a Black Monday in Major League Soccer. I don't know how many positions you would end up with, but it would be interesting to see if we end up with a Black Monday in Major League Soccer. The sneaky good game in the West. Portland and Houston, 9 o'clock on season pass. I'm looking forward to this one. I might have this one spot shadowed on the mobile device before I end up heading home. Portland plus 114. Zombie Timbers favored by almost 100 juice boxes here. Houston's a plus 213 on the road. Your draw is a plus 270. What say you, Jared Smith?
Houston.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. No real thought. He's just rocking and rolling. San Jose and Austin at 9 o'clock, 9:09, also on the season pass. As San Jose at 10, 10, and 13 is entertaining 10, 15, and 8. In this one, your juice boxes, San Jose large favorite at home at a minus 175. Draws a plus 348, and Austin is north of plus 400. I'm not thinking or overthinking this one at all.
Nope.
Big one for San Jose there. All Caps and Seattle. This one is at All Caps Park. Seattle needs it because the 2, the 3, and the 4 are still being decided. As 17, 11, and 5 hosts 13, 9, and 11. St. Louis just needs points to set a record for an expansion team. They don't necessarily – if they get 1 point, they tie LAFC's record. If they win this one and go to Seattle, they set a new record. They don't need this one because they're the top seed in the West. St. Louis in the juice boxes, all caps are a plus 137. Draws a plus 256, and Seattle is a plus 183. What say you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that would, part of me says Seattle. Like,
Seattle beat All Caps 3-0 at home in the first meeting back on April 8th. They were a different team then, meaning St. Louis was. No team has defeated St. Louis City multiple times in league play.
Well, herein lies the question, though, is can does St. Louis maintain it through a playoff setup, or do they fall into the same pitfall that a number of teams play that style fall into?
I would
When
say
you
the
get into
latter.
playoffs, it gets
That's
more pragmatic.
Yeah, I would say the latter. I think that someone's going to come up and they're going to play them, and St. Louis is not going to know what to do. Because remember, it's Red Bulls Midwest with Bradley Carnell. And so when you end up with what you're seeing out of all caps, one game at a time is cool. Best of 3 series is something entirely different. So it will be an interesting test case with all caps. And the last game on the free side at Apple TV, Vancouver and LAFC. That one is also a 909 kick. Plus 136 for Vancouver. Plus 281 on the draw. LAFC traveling north of the border is a plus 173. What say you, Jared Smith?
Like, I know Nico's big on LAFC right now. I'm not as big, just because they've been so inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like any team, like I could sit here and say, like, oh, if they get a hot streak, they'll be great. But you could say that.
With a win on the final day, Whitecaps would reach the 50-point mark for the first time since 2017. Vancouver has only won one of their last 6, however, after winning 5 times in their previous 7 league games. So hot and cold, Vanni Sartini. Maybe he needs to play some Nickelback in the locker room to get everybody all squared away. Vancouver's won 2 straight regular season matches against LAFC, though LAFC won 2 CCL matches against Vancouver between those games. Only San Jose and Portland have won 3 straight league games over LAFC. LAFC has won consecutive regular season matches for the first time since June with the last 2 wins. Since returning from the League's Cup break, LAFC's won 4 league matches, scoring 17 goals in those matches, totaling 2 goals in the other 6, where they lost 4. So Denny Bouanga followed up his hat trick with a brace. Could tie the MLS record for 3 consecutive multi-goal matches, done 11 times, most recently by the guy who conquered MLS and left town. Ryan Gauld at 11 and 12, Brian White at 15 and 5 are one of 2 pairs of teammates with 20 goal contributions this season. The other, Vela and Bouanga. First time in club history that 2 Whitecaps players have recorded 20 or more goal contributions in a season. So the last game on the board for us to talk about is Atlanta and Philly. It's great to have Jason, who sounded like he was on his way to the airport as we were catching up with him, as he was probably leaving the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta training ground. But with this matchup against FC Cincinnati, because Cincinnati isn't playing in the opening round, they're staring at the 8-9 and waiting for the winner of the 8-9. Are you anticipating a standard starting lineup? Are you anticipating rotation because the game doesn't mean anything to Cincinnati, while Atlanta's probably going first choice, except for Luis Abram, as to what Jason was alluding to? What are you anticipating in this
one? Probably just standard.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you rotate a couple guys, but usually just standard. Go. So the guys don't have too much time off.
Yeah,
you get a break anyway. If they had to play, if the first seed didn't come with a sub or with a bye, then maybe you do that. But I think it'll be fine. Just going with as is, and maybe they pull guys a little bit earlier, rotate guys as the game goes on.
Yeah, and I figure that we will see the Saba Mosqueda stuff on the side, where Saba runs like hell for 60, Mosqueda comes in, runs like hell for 30. That's what I'm anticipating, and then you'll see on the left-hand side what you would see with Chiade and possibly Tyler Wolff, or whatever you would see on the left-hand side. Xande Silva, and who you would anticipate on the left-hand side. I know that Michael Head had a question about Jamal Chiade and wondering about the cost of the investment for what essentially is a backup. And I know that we haven't seen 100% of Jamal Chiade because of injury, and then he was late getting over here. And those are things that you just can't predict. That immigration and naturalization and getting green cards and contracts is going to take longer than it is. And then he's now having to nurse the nasty injury that he got in the home match. So, but once again, I mean, you found someone that you thought could help you out in a backup situation. And if that's the going rate, and if that's what you had budgeted, then there you go. I mean, that's how it is, at least with Chiade and me. It will be some analysis in the off season, and do you continue to take a flyer on what you've seen from Chiade? And Chiade has shown when he's been healthy, the flashes of the individual. I'm sure that they saw and that they wanted to bring in under the tent, Jarrett. But right now, I mean, if the $1 million was the price tag to bring him under the tent, that's what it is, and it's not a whole lot of, in the grand scheme of things, when you're spending what was your cap number? You're like what, 20? You're 22, I want to say, or something like that. Now, basically, you're looking at not even 5% of your gross spending on an individual. And I know that the timetable is short. I know that, Michael, that's what you're looking at, time spent versus investment. And when it comes to the economics of the deal, I know that's what you're staring at. But that's going to be a question in the offseason. Do you get Chiade at 100% and do another loan with an option to buy because of the pattern that wasn't the time frame that wasn't be able to be attached? So no, it will be a question for the offseason, no question there. I wanted to get the numbers because we mentioned that Joe Dickerson is the man in the middle, Ismir Pekmic is your fourth, and Jorge Gonzalez is your VAR. So referee stats for Joe Dickerson. Yes, I know. I'm going into referee stats for Joe Dickerson. 19 matches, 517 fouls awarded. 517 fouls is bordering the middle, like high middle of the range when it comes to fouls awarded. Let's see, 3. Basically, you're looking at what's 19 into 517. You got quick math in front of you, Jarrett?
I'm calculating 19 into 517.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
Let's find out, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Okay.
That's high 20s?
27.2.
Okay, so Dickerson on average calls 27 fouls a match. And it looks like his yellows per game is 4.84. He has given 4 reds in 19 matches so far this season that he has been the man in the middle. But obviously, Joe Dickerson being the man in the middle for an Atlanta match ain't going to win him no favors with the 17s that are working their way forward. He ain't doing no favors for nobody. Atlanta fans not happy probably with this choice of Joe Dickerson as the man in the middle. That's just me.
But at the same time, you just have to play the game.
Yes.
You don't want him to impact the game. And, yeah, you'll get stuff like the Philadelphia game where the referee absolutely impacted the game. You don't want that to happen, but it will. It's just the nature of things. Sometimes it happens. You go out and you play your game, though. Yeah. And you try and take it out of his hands as much as humanly possible.
Yes.
If he gets involved and he starts making mistakes, then, you got something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you'll get stuff like the Philly game where we're like, we try and elaborate a lot of times, like referees don't often decide games. There are other things that impact games. You'll have stuff like the Philly game, which absolutely changes the game because goals change games. And when you directly take away or add goals that should or should not be there, it matters. But a lot of times it's you got to do your job. And so if you spend too much time focusing on Joe Dickerson or focusing on, Fostos Pasacos or whoever the hell might be in the middle, spend too much time looking at that.
Yeah.
Look up. You're going to see numbers you don't really love next to your name.
Focus on Chilowitz.
I mean, you're going to see stuff that you don't like. So here's what it is.
Yeah. You turn into a pumpkin and go into the real world, correct?
Yes.
All right. So we will see you on Monday.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much. That's Jarrett. So So let's get into the rest of gossip, rumor, and innuendo and what to watch before we go. And thanks again to all of you guys for hanging out for another week. Friday gossip. Jose Mourinho set for a shock return to Real Madrid this summer, according to Mundo Deportivo, replacing Carlo Ancelotti, who will take over as Brazil's head coach. The latter we knew. The former we'll hang on to. Jadon Sancho will be transfer listed unless he apologizes to Erik ten Hag. According to The Guardian, he's been left out of the United squad since the loss to Arsenal for not meeting training standards. Sancho's former club, Borussia Dortmund, and Juve have contacted the player's reps about a potential transfer. Liverpool making moves for Jamal Musiala, with the 20-year-old unhappy he's not the guaranteed starter at Bayern Munich. Newcastle, Eddie Howe doesn't want to be the next England manager, despite the FA putting him on a short list. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Tom Russo, proposed a deal to purchase the 25% stake in Manchester United, unlikely to be completed in time for the opening of the January window. That'll go well, trying to bring in transfers. That's also from the 4-letter paper, so take the information at your own peril. Chelsea, set to activate the option to extend Jan Matsen's contract until the summer of 2025, as the Blues hope to dissuade him from joining Barca. Only a sensational offer from Birmingham Live's reporting would convince Rangers to sell Jack Butland to Birmingham City, with new manager Wayne Rooney making the ex-England keeper his top transfer target. 4-letter. Tata Martino has confirmed his side's interest in Luis Suarez and hopes to lure him from Gremio to Major League Soccer in January. Joan Laporta has ruled out signing Messi in January, trying to bring him to Camp Nou last summer. That's from Fabrizio Romano. But Deco remains adamant Messi will eventually return to his former club. That's a 3-letter paper. Al Ettifaq are set to sign Jesse Lingard. Been training with Steven Gerrard's side, been without a club since leaving Nottingham Forest this summer. Manchester United will offer 1-year contract extensions to Wan-Bissaka and Victor Lindelof, as well as agreeing to a new deal with Hannibal Mabry. Juve targeting a move for 19-year-old Atalanta defender Giorgio Scalvini, who has been looked at by Inter Milan and Manchester City. That's from Tutto Mercato. And Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish has said the Premier League is discussing bringing in a cap on what clubs can spend on wages, from our friends at The Independent. Good luck on that. What to watch, where to watch it, at least today. BN and BN and Espanol have Le Havre and Lens at 3 o'clock. If you don't have BN, you can get it from Fanatis, fntz.co/soccer down here. And you can get Fanatis, you can get TIC, all the BNs, Copa Libertadores, Sudamericana. You could get CDO for the fans, TIC, Gold TV, all that stuff. Fox Soccer Plus has the league that we aren't talking about when it comes to games and personnel at 11 o'clock. Serie B, though, Parma and Como at 2:30. Osasuna Granada is on ESPN Deportes at 3. Fox Deportes has your simulcast of the league that we're not talking about. They also have Liga MX at 9. Juarez and Pachuca, Santos Laguna and Leon, Liga MX Femenil. Gold TV's got the Ecuadorian Primera at 8. B1G Plus has 2 matches on the men's side. ESPN Plus has the championship, Rotherham and Ipswich at 3. The Bundesliga at 2:20, Dortmund and Werder Bremen. They've got Osasuna Granada at 3. Half a dozen matches in the college women's game. League One quarterfinals in USL League One. Charlotte Greenville tonight. Once again, remember, they reseed. Also, League One on the other side. It is Northern Colorado forward Madison. That is tomorrow. Winners get back into the pile. Lowest remaining seed plays Union Omaha. Highest remaining seed goes to WakeMed to take on North Carolina FC. Flo's got a game in the men's side, Stony Brook and Monmouth. Paramount Plus has 4 games in the Argentine Primera, starting at 3:45. Tigre and Newell's, Huracan and Instituto at 6, along with Talleres Cordoba and Arsenal. Boca Juniors, Union Santa Fe at 8:30. And the quarterfinals with Rain and Angel City at 10 o'clock on Paramount Plus. Our NWSL episode previewing the opening round. You'll hear from Lynn Williams at Gotham. You'll hear from Laura Harvey and Megan Rapinoe from OL Reign. That's going to be later this afternoon. Prem and Proper is later this afternoon as well, as we get you ready for the return of the Premier League season, and we will continue to rock and roll from there. So thanks again to everybody for another fantastic week. Thanks for putting up with me and my lack of computer skills. I know that shocks each and every one of you. And we'll be back at it again Monday morning. We'll know where Atlanta United is. We'll know who the seeds are. We'll know what the breakdown is. Maybe we will learn when teams are playing. We'll get the schedules, and we'll have folks on speed dial getting ready for everything in the postseason, getting ready for all of that. We'll find out who the 8-9 is, who the survivors are, and if there's going to be a Black Monday involving teams that do not make the postseason. We'll see what happens. Troy Lacine, we know that something's going to happen in Chicago. I don't think they're going to give it to Frank Klopas full time. Does anything happen in Charlotte, even if they do make the playoffs, especially if they get if there's a change in the administration? NYC, Nick Cushing, do we get something there? Toronto, John Herdman's in control. Anybody that doesn't make it in, Minnesota, we know that they've got to come up with a replacement since Adrian Heath is no longer there. Is there a decision on Peter Vermes? Austin has said they're hanging on to Josh Wolf. Greg Vanney, don't know. And we also know that Colorado is looking for somebody as well, but they have talked to Jack Wilshere. Interesting, intriguing, and ready to go. So once again, thanks to all of you guys for hanging out with us for another week. We'll go through everything that happened on the week, lower divisions, MLS, all the news that's fit to print. It'll be right here. Don't forget to download the Soccer Down Here app, available iOS and Android from our friends at Spreaker. Keep an eye on stuff as well. And on Monday, we're adding YouTube Live. So it'll be YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, 280-character app, all across the board, all at one time, all at 9:05. So you're all on notice. Once again, for everybody here at SDH, I'm just John. Thanks for hanging out with us for another go-round of Major League Soccer and all the other soccers, all the other leagues. Thanks to Michael Parkhurst and our friends at Beyond Goals Mentoring for another go-round on the Friday Free Kick as well. Be safe, everybody. I know that this morning was kind of loud, but be safe going through it all, and we will be back on the flip side on Monday morning. Mucha plati, I'll play it safe. It's the end of the show. That means I get to do this.